What's up, e-bikers? So if the electric 1.0 and the friend electric bike had a baby, this would be it. This is the Crooked Path Rogue, and we're going to check it out next on the channel. All right, so if you remember the electric 1.0, the original bike that everybody was ramped up about, that had 20 by 4-inch tires. It had color matching fenders, and that's one reason why I made that comparison in my opener. The friend electric bike has a very similar frame, not quite exact. I'll show you where it's different, but it's got a very beefy frame up here to hide this 16 amp hour battery. The Friend is a very similar bike in terms of the frame. There are variations on e-bikes out there, but the Friend e-bike has a more angular holder here. It's more of a 90-degree angle versus this one, which is much more like it's like a 30-degree angle almost there on the down tube. So a very similar bike. I also think this arm down here is circular versus more a square one on the Friend, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, it's a very similar e-bike to the similar frame to the Friend overall. So I wanted to make that comparison. But I do like how they combine those two things. We got dual suspension, of course, with kind of the electric XP looks 1.0. So I give them some credit there for a new variation on this type of e-bike, because we've seen something like this before, but not quite like this. So a little about the company. This is a Crooked Path e-bikes. It's a brother and sister team out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So always love to see Americans starting their own companies. Obviously, these bikes are made overseas, but if you can, I'd rather buy from them, something like them, versus a direct-to-consumer Chinese company anyway, if I can help it overall. So, and they said when you email them and you call them for customer service, you get one of them on the phone or the email. So good to see that. A lot of these e-bike companies are still small out there. They're small teams because it's such a new industry, but definitely try and support those who are trying to do it here in the U.S., at least from a customer service and sales standpoint overall. So it's a bit about the company. So this is the Rogue. Comes in white, also Caribbean blue, which is a very bright blue color. I like this white, the Stormtrooper white look. I like white bikes. Just sharp. Look at the contrast between the white and the black tires, the orange accents. Just really pops overall. Definitely solid branding on here. Nothing too fancy, which I like. I don't like massive, exciting, loud branding. It's just their name here, and down here on the frame, you got the Rogue. It says. So it's got a 750 watt Bafang motor in the rear there, 1100 watt peak, 80 newton meters of torque. So this is a good hill climber, and pretty powerful motor on the back of that overall. Bafang motor, of course. It's got a 48 volt, 16 amp hour battery here in the down tube. It's a foldable e-bike, so you just pop open the latch here, unpop it, unfold it, and off you go. It comes with a 3 amp fast charger, so love to see that. I wish more manufacturers start coming out with faster chargers for these bikes overall. And it says also the charger has over voltage protections. It won't overcharge the battery, if you will. It's got it's IP rated 65, IP65 rated. Waterproof display up here. It's a small one. It's kind of basic with changeable speed settings. So you can go in here and change the settings on this e-bike, which I did. It's a class 2 out of the box, 20 miles an hour. But I made it to a class 3 by going into the settings and adjusting that. They actually show you all the settings in the pamphlet that comes with the bike, or the manual. and you can go in there and change those as you wish overall. It's got a phone holder up here, which I'll show you later. It comes with a bell, and it's got a rack back here, a basic rack. It's got the nice little clamp on the back. I like to see these. If you want to throw your jacket on there, or your hat or something like that, you can do that. It does make a little bit of noise. So I put some little felt rubber things here just to help. So when you're riding, this thing can rattle a little bit, which I noticed so far. Okay, this bike weighs 67 pounds. They tell me it's with the battery. I'm gonna pick it up and try to anyway. Let's see if I would agree with that. Yeah, it's not too heavy. The Friend, I think, is a heavier e-bike. It's about 77 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. So this is 10 pounds lighter. I'm not sure how they did that, but because I think it's a very similar frame. Maybe it's a slightly smaller frame. I'm not sure, but that could be why it's a little bit lighter than that. Max payload on these, 340 pounds, they said. It's got a nice hydraulic suspension fork up here. This is a Mozo, a little bit higher end than you typically see. Slightly better than average, I think overall. It's got lockout and preload adjustment there. Drivetrain, we've got a 7-speed, 14 to 22 freewheel. This thing is geared for lower speeds. I was pedaling at 25, 26, and you are spinning. You're pedaling pretty hard at that point, so probably would have done better with an 11 to 34 tooth, in my opinion. Double-sided chain guard, like to see those. Twist throttle, Zoom hydraulic brakes. This thing stops on a dime, and I love the brakes on this bike. Let's see here, 20x4 puncture resistant tires. Those are Chow Yangs. I like the overall black look of those Chow Yangs. One of my favorites. Comes with a LED brake light in the back here. That works. And it's got a nice 300 lumens light up front here. I'll do a night shot for you and see how that looks. But looks like a pretty good light. It's got like 4 lights inside of it. Maybe it's 6. Now it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll see how bright that is. It looks like a pretty good light overall. Here's a look at the Crooked Path Rogue headlight. This is a great headlight. This thing is powerful. I mean, it goes 100 feet up there on the road. And really good coverage of the road in front of you and the sides. And definitely impressed by it. 300 lumens. I mean, this is it's like a searchlight almost. Very cool. All right, so let's talk about what I like and what I don't like. So mostly positive things to say about the Crooked Path Rogue. I like the color match fenders. Just a really nice look, clean look. 3-amp charger. I like the clamp on the back, as I mentioned before. I wish all racks have that clamp on there. If you don't have a bag, you can throw something on there, something light, piece of clothing. Great brakes, as I mentioned. The power, this bike gets to 28 now. It's one of the only 2 bikes I have that can get to 28 miles an hour. And you can do that with throttle as well once you unlock it. So I really like that aspect of it. Some e-bikes, many e-bikes now, come a little bit toned down as far as top speed goes, and that's fine. Most people don't need to go that fast, but I like it. I like to have that ability, right? I don't always go 20 miles an hour. In fact, I rarely do. But it's nice to have that, particularly with the throttle. In case you're in traffic, you want to get out of the way quickly, get across the road. That extra power is just nice to have overall. The bell and the phone holder, actually, it's a pretty good phone holder. I'll give you a close-up in a second, but it works pretty well, and nice to see that. One less thing I had to put in the bike, one accessory, And dual suspension, of course. This is a pretty hard suspension. I don't really feel much give when I'm on it, but I'll see if I can. Can't really see it move, I don't think, too much, but it's good to have, right? So going over bumps, you do notice it's a little bit softer, and I don't think I'll have to change out the seat because of that. So the seat is pretty soft, your typical gel seat, but pretty soft where it counts up here, and it's got a little curvature in the middle here, so not too bad. Again, you have to keep the key in the bike. Probably one of the small downsides, just like the electrics do, of course. And then other things I don't like, the kickstand is an issue. It's just the angle doesn't seem, it seems too tall for when it's angled, when it's standing still, and it's on and it's down. So the bike has tipped over on me a couple of times. It looks like it is adjustable, but I can't bring it up any higher to kind of make the angle come down more. So it is what it is. Maybe I can get a new kickstand on there. Those are pretty easy to change out. You can buy them on Amazon. So that's one thing I don't like about the bike. And then the other major thing I don't like about the bike is the handlebar setup. If you look at this, it's very scooter-like. This is a very straight handlebar overall. Again, it makes it more scooter-like. The grips on here are basically like plasticky almost. There's really no softness to them. The shifter is nice here. It's one of those push button shifters from underneath that you do. And the display's over here. Again, the phone holder and the bell. Again, nice to have. Like to see that stuff. Less things you have to buy. But yeah, I just don't like this tall, very tall stem here. So this is a great candidate to have a BMX stem on it. I saw one guy on YouTube did it already, his Rogue, and I may do that as well. But a very nice cable wrapping here, very nice job here, reminiscent of the electrics. So a nice job with that. But kickstand, the tall stem, those are kind of my main complaints. Not huge issues, not stuff to not buy this bike overall, because you can swap this stuff out. A nice BMX handlebar system on this would be awesome, and a new kickstand, and that's basically all I would do to this bike. It's a very nice overall package, and for the price, you get a lot for your money. I think $14.99 on sale right now. Normally $16.99 on the Crooked Path website. You get a 750 watt. You get all the accessories. You get power, a bike that goes to 28, dual suspension, nice color, a rear rack. I mean, should be a great light up there. We'll see. But for what you get, pretty solid purchase right here. So again, the ride to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Check them out. We'll go do a little ride test for you. Do a speed test. Show you how to get to 28. We'll do a hill climb test and some braking tests as well. So stay tuned for that. Let's hit it. Here's a sweep of the handlebar setup, the cockpit, as we sometimes call it. So here is your grips. Here's your twist grip right here. Again, these are kind of plasticky, so I'm not really a fan of those. Here's your shifter down here. It's the lower gear and the higher gears over here. Got your zoom brakes, of course. The phone rack is here, so you just basically squeeze it and then you do that. It works pretty well. My phone did not move at all. It's got little grips here on the side to keep it in place. Here's the display. As you can see, we have speed, we have PS setting, battery level, and mileage. It's got your average trip. Oh, there is voltage. I'm sorry. It does have voltage, so I apologize to Crooked Path. So we do have voltage, 50.3, and great to see that. So again, sorry about that. Thought it did not. Here's the bell and your left-hand grip and the zoom brake overall. So quick look at the shocks, the tires. When I got it, I did have a scratch on the fork here. It's like something metalish got in there, but no worries. I like the orange reflectors. This gives a nice color pop there. It's got well-go forward pedals. And here's a look at the rear motor and rear brakes. Zoom hydraulic brakes, like to see that. Cable management is pretty good here. It's nice and clean. And probably the only thing I don't like is this part here. It's hopefully nothing don't get caught on this because it's going to snap. And I've broken these little zip ties on a couple of my e-bikes over this last year or so. But again, you can just get a new zip tie and throw them in place there. Here's a look at the shock. And here's a look at the rack. I like these little clamps. You can see the little felt pads I put on there to help with the noise. You got room back here for a license plate. If you want to get one of those, you can buy like these 7x4 custom license plates on Amazon. Whatever, saying you want on there. Might be a good spot for that. Here's your derailleur. We have a Shimano tourney derailleur there. And one other note, the chain is really close to the frame down here, so it does bounce, and you can see already there's some just grease marks. So it's a pretty big chain ring over here. I'm not exactly sure how big it is, but it's nice to see. Yeah, well, some kind of guard might be good to get here, just to protect the paint. You can see where the key is there. Again, take it out if you're folding the bike. It's there has to be in the on position when you do ride the bike. But that's a look at the Crooked Path Rogue. Now we're going to head over to our speed test. It's Crooked Path Rogue. Alright, so let's do the speed test. We'll do, I did change the settings on this, so it's now class 3. So I'm not going to run through all the PAS settings, but PAS 1 is now working at 15 miles an hour, which I like. That's the lowest setting. And top speed should be around 28, so let's try that. I think we can get there with throttle, but I'm not sure, I forget. If not, I'll come back and try it in PAS 5 and see how we do. So let's hit this. Okay, 14, 15, gaining steam here, 20, 21, 22, 23, it's matching the bike pretty much, 25, 26, 27, 27 there, top speed with the throttle. Let's do this again in pedaling mode and see how we do. So again on the PS5, getting there faster. Six, 7, come on, 28, let's go. Can't get there. Pedal pretty hard too. The bike says 28, but the app says 27, so close enough. So yeah, finally a bike that goes 28 miles an hour. The Rogue is one of my fastest bikes now, next to my Sonata. None of my other e-bikes go up to 28, so if you're looking for a little bit faster bike than this Rogue, it would be a good choice overall. So, all right, let's go do a hill test, braking test, and see how she performs. Okay, let's do this hill test. I'm in 4th gear. I'm in PS5. This bike supposedly peaks at about 1100 watts, so should be a good hill climber. Expecting good results. And if we don't go below 10 miles an hour, I'll consider that good. That's kind of my litmus test, if you will. So let's do this and get rolling. Power comes on a little bit slow on the hill. Start to pick up slowly. You can kind of hear it there. Low. 10 miles an hour, 11. Gaining steam. As we hit this hill, 15 miles an hour, 16. The steep part is up here. We haven't hit the steep part yet. am pedaling pretty fast right now. We're doing 18, going uphill. Pretty good results so far. Okay, it's starting to get steep here. 18, 17, 16, bike says 14, it's about a mile off. 14, oh yeah, 13, 12. 12 miles an hour is the baseline on this. That's very good. Most e-bikes you're going to do about 10 or less with the 500 watts. So, pretty good result there. Okay, so we're going to do my downhill run here, just coasting. We'll do a brake test at the end. By the way, the settings on this can be changed. The manual comes with all the details in terms of doing it. You basically hold down plus and minus to get to the settings, and then you can change the speed limiter there. So again, those instructions are in the manual that comes with the bike. So alright, so we're going to do a downhill speed test here. You've seen this before. You know, you tend to hit 30 miles an hour on these. We'll see how the Rogue does. Almost called it the friend. And we'll do a brake test at the end, see how these brakes work. I mean, just from the feel of it and the little riding I've done so far, these Zoom hydraulic brakes stop on a dime. So very happy with these so far. Alright, let's hit it. Again, just coasting. Already at 20 miles an hour. Very stable bike, as you can see. Here's where it gets steep. I'm just going to tap the brakes a little bit because. Alright, let go. 32, wow. 31 on there. 30 again, 31, 32, wow. Fast as ever. Alright, hit those brakes. Oh, very nice stopping. Very nice stopping power. No shuddering on the brakes. Very true. No back end pull out. So definitely impressed on the brakes for this Rogue. So that was a good test. My 32 miles an hour according to this. It might take a few seconds there to get for the motor to start really going. So it's kind of a slow power, kind of like my Sonata. Lake already starting. Rides pretty well off the rain. That rear shock is not the softest shock. It's kind of hard. Doesn't really. I mean, I can feel the flex, but it's not that noticeable overall. So. I think it's be a great commuter bike for roads, you know, with potholes, things like that. It'll just suck them up pretty easily. Take it on hard packed trails, but that's as far as I would go with it. Stop at this beach up here, I'll give you a closer look at the bike. All right. So, Crooked Path Rogue. I just love that white, that Stormtrooper white. Really nice package. You know, the forks on this are nice. Those are Mozo forks. Those are sort of better than what most standard e-bikes come with, I think. The rack itself, again, I like the clamp here, so you can, you know, tie down your jacket or something light if you don't have an actual bag back there. I like that feature. You can see the shock there. Just a really nice looking package overall, except for the folding stem. It doesn't look too bad from this angle, but I really want to put a nice big BMX stem on there to make the bike look even better overall, because it is a sharp looking bike. Here's the 30 lumens headlight. Haven't tried it at night yet. I'll try to get you a night shot. Oops, starting to move. So there's one problem with the kickstand, as you see there. Yeah, I don't know if it's angled totally right, or the bike's weight. Yeah, so it can be a little tippy on you overall. So I've noticed that since I've started riding it, but not a huge problem. You can get a new kickstand if you want to, and you can replace the stem or even just the handlebars themselves. But overall it's a really nice package. I like what Crooked Pat did with it, and thanks for watching.